Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's TeamLease webinar, where we exchange some creative ideas, insights, and valued experiences related to our sector. We use this as one of the platforms to collaborate and find innovative solutions to the real-world challenges that we face. So, just to set the context right for today's webinar, workforce productivity is evolving. It no longer is driven solely by just operational efficiency, but it is how effectively organizations now invest in people by helping them upskill. It could be personal benefits that are shared with employees and also ensuring there is a clear long-term career path which is detailed out to employees. As workplaces become more dynamic and employee expectations shift, organizations that offer continuous learning and upskilling and are more employee centric seem to have better engagement with employees, a lower attrition, and also a much better performance from an employee perspective. Just to share a small context on how skill development has happened in the past, the India Skill Report in 2025 shows that employability amongst Indian graduates has gone up from the 51.25% in 2024 to close to a 54.8% in 2025. This could be because of multiple government initiatives and employer focus on their employees. But the disheartening part still continues to be that 75% of the employees who pursue upskilling still do it only because of the employer pushing them and not because of a self motivation. So there seems to be some kind of a small disconnect between the employees' needs and the employers. On the attrition part, while we've seen a drop of attrition to a 16.9% in 2024 from a 18.5 plus, we still see a very high attrition in the front line, especially the blue collared, right? So in today's webinar, we primarily going to discuss a few thoughts around this. And I have two well-established, renowned leaders with us. I'll take this opportunity to welcome both of them. We have with us Dr. K.S. Bhoon, who's been a defense personnel for 33 years with the Indian Army and is currently the CTO and COO of RDC Concrete. And we have Mr. Vikas Bhatia, who's an accomplished CSR and ESG leader known for driving impactful initiatives at Chambal Fertilisers. So, Dr. Bhoon and Mr. Vikas, thank you so much for taking the time out for this webinar.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure, sir. So,
Thank
if
you
I
very
could
much, Dhiren.
request, thank you, sir. If I could just request you all to share a 1 minute brief about your past so that the audience knows about the background, that would be very helpful, sir. Dr. Bhoon, if I could request you to go first.
So I joined the Indian Army in 1969 and left voluntarily in 2002 because I found some opportunities outside. In any case, I was a brigadier when I left. And in the Army, largely my focus has been on operational excellence, logistics. For example, I was one of the key member of the team which drove logistics in during the Kargil War in '99.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2002, I joined Ashok Leyland, where I was driving their learning and development. My major focus there was to make a talent pipeline for them through the graduate engineers route. So there I learned the civil part of training and development, how really it happens. In fact, they used to have a 1 year long training program, which finally I brought it down to less than 6 months, in 4 months, in fact, where after 4 months, they could be put on the job. This is one of my, and the whole program was so structured that I'm told even today they are following that model of GT model. After that, I joined ACC Concrete, the concrete business of ACC, where I was the chief people officer there for some time. For about 6-7 years, I was there. So similar kind of talent-driven organization. My basic specialty after leaving the army has been actually it is a basic a model from the defense. That is, you take from the campuses direct fresh people. Like army takes fresh people, they don't take side entry, and groom them, tell them, and embed them into your own culture. And then you will have the leadership pipeline. For example, in Ashok Leyland, my GTs of my time, some of them are now general manager. They are heading. The other day, the guy wrote that, "Sir, I am heading the IT now." Well, there are people like that. I mean, you can groom people.
Fabulous.
After in 2016, when I was supposed to be almost signing off, something happened, and this company used to be only 300 crores. That is RDC Concrete. It had 16 plants. Today, it has got 140 plants, and turnover is now close to 3,000 crores. We have grown multiple times, And similar kind of people model we have implemented here. And I am looking after both operations as well as technology. In fact, we are one of the most digitized company in this space today.
Correct.
Thank you. This is all about me.
Excellent. I think that's a great diverse background from your end, sir. Right from the defense to a civilian approach, and I'm sure we'll have loads of learnings over the next few minutes, the next hour or so with you, Mr. Vikas. If I could request you to please share a few insights about yourself.
Yeah, sure. First of all, very good morning, Dr. Bhoon. And I'm very feeling privileged that I'm going to share my thoughts sideline with you. So I'm very, very fortunate. I'm going to sharing that as with you. So
Thank you.
in fact, I'm a corporate social responsibility person. I've almost for 2 decades, I've been engaged with the community, and I was heading the CSR vertical of Chambal Fertilizer, and recently I have been transferred to corporate affairs department. So this new assignment is given to me, corporate affairs,
Fantastic.
and since the organization is also growing, so during my tenure, I have worked with the people, mainly with the villagers community, and I have seen the importance of the skill because mostly the villagers are not having kind of a skill set is required by the various corporates or company even. So whatever the kind of skill they were having, there it was by virtue of practicing it, they got it. So what we did actually, we established a skill center, which I'm going to speak. During the course of this webinar. So we provided a skill center to them. We started the skill set which they wanted to, pursue the career in that. We established ITIs. We collaborated with the government of Rajasthan, and we established 5 ITIs where they were skilled for various kind of thing. The people who were doing some job, then we got into upskilling or reskilling kind of activities. So we focused on the people, but my my experience is mainly with the villagers. I have never been worked with the kind of work Dr. Boone has done. My area was absolutely different.
So I'm sure that's going to be a very exciting learning for us also. Working with villagers would require a complete different kind of a mindset and handling. So we'd love to hear more about that too. So great, thank you. So if I could just pick up from what both of you have done in the past before we jump into questions. Dr. Boone, you made a very interesting statement. You said that when you joined Ashok Leyland, you got down the training program for 1 year to 6 months, and that's a program which is still followed out over there. If you could share with the audience what exactly did you have in mind when you tweaked it, what is the program about, and why is it so successful, that would help us set the whole context on skilling and training as such.
So it is not only that they used to lose these people very heavily. In
Mhm.
fact, the attrition in first year, it is last batch when I joined was 50%, 50%. Half
Wow.
of them they will leave because there was no engagement, there's no structured program. They will just put in the plant on the job training and some classroom training. They will come. So there is a management development center there with hostel and all. But the whole control was basically the HR of the plant. The
Got
first
it.
thing I did was I made a huge. I said, no, this is not the way to do it.
Hmm.
This whole 1 year program, I said, you don't need 1 year, you need about 4 or 5 months training. And this is what it is. After 4 or 5 months, although they will still be called trainees, but they will be going on the job, real job, and they will be placing somebody. So the whole documents were made. I presented to the management in first go itself. The major change which I made was all these 100 graduate engineers. There were 100, close to 100. They will report to me, not to the plant, because the
Got it.
moment they report to the plant, their aim is to use them
Got
rather
it.
than teach them. So
Got it.
from a use angle to development angle, that was a major change. I
Uh-huh.
had to think if they want to go on leave, they want something else, some issues are there. It is all 100 with me, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody in between. So what I did was I divided them in three parts, made captains and vice captains. I said you will manage yourself.
Fabulous. Okay.
So the batch captain, and mind you, this batch captain, one of the batch captain, he is a very high position in Singapore. We just sort of well, we keep on getting these people. So they themselves manage. So there was, of course, a very structured training program. Part of it in the classroom, Part of then I set up. They did not have a automobile training center, which was set up after I, because they will send it for 15 days somewhere here and there. I said no, here only. We need to have automobile training. We need to have soft skills training. We need to have leadership training. Yes, supply chain training. Since I was a supply chain guy, so I introduced some various game kind of a thing. So basically, the whole program is structured in such a manner. Firstly, it hastened the learning. Secondly, it aligned with the job requirement on the ground.
Got
And
it.
there were tests every 15 days. There will be a test. They report there. They will have to submit report. Even the psychometrics were done. Who's got this deficiency? How he can be improved? Mind you, I had set up a obstacle training center in this Ashok Leyland Management Level, which looked more like in the army military area. There was a
Physical
ditch,
obstacles
there was
around.
a rope, there was a ditch, there was a track. They
Wow.
had to run. They had to complete in this. So
Got it.
mental, physical, technical, management, leadership, all training, very extensive.
Got it.
So this I continued there for 5 years, and this was transformational. So today they have a lot of people from that era who are still there. Of course, some left later. And the biggest point was first year attrition. It dropped down to 17% from
From a
50%.
50%. Wow, that's a huge drop.
But उसमें my personal engagement was huge with them. I used to take them, like, for example, I'll take them for 2 or 3 days on OBT myself. I'll outbound training in the hills of Kurg. I'll take them in Kurg, in absolutely barren territory. They'll stay in the hut, no washroom, no this thing. They'll have to go to the jungle. For example, Vikas was telling villager, I totally agree with your point that it's not easy. I mean, I made them jungly. So you stay
Got
in the
it.
jungle so that all your inhibitions are gone. And mind you,
Got
even girls were there in that group. So I'll divide them in 3 or 4 batches. I'll go along with them. And 2 days we'll stay in the jungles and learn jungle lore, learn how to live, how to be flexible, how to be adaptable. People will lose temper. So the basically the whole training was intensified and shortened. Though they were ready in 4 months, they were handling shifts or they were gone to the development center. So after 4 months, they will go to the job on the job. They'll start working, but they'll still report to me because the manager can easily kill him. So if he has a problem, he'll come to me. So I'll shift some of them. I remember there was a guy in Nagpur. He said, "Sir, I will not survive here."
Uh-huh.
I didn't make much an effort. I shifted him to another location. I said, I will not give a person there. So, like this, so it is not only training, it is engagement, it is looking to the needs and tailoring your offering to each and every person. So, see, today, in fact, training, one of the major thing required is you cannot have a generalized training for everybody. You can have one class, but there will also be a need for which, coaching mentoring model is required. If you look at it, mine was a more of a coaching mentoring model in addition to the classroom, in addition to on the job. Coaching mentoring model is very, very. So I was the coach, I was the mentor as for all of them.
Got
So
it.
this is how it is a fairly successful program. They're still running it and they're doing well.
Fabulous. No, very insightful. So I think what actually happens, right, in the current scenario, or at least a few years back, one person once employed was immediately expected to start delivering and was pursued or pushed by the manager. But I think you taking a step back, taking 4 months or 6 months to mold them, setting job expectations right, and empowering them. I like the way you actually highlighted about captain and vice captain. I think that gave them a sense of empowerment at a young age itself.
And I used to rotate them. Your good point. I used to rotate. It's not the same guy will continue. Some other will come.
Got it.
He'll become
Got
the
it.
leader.
Very nice. And as you rightly called out, tailor-made training is what is very critical. So great. That's something very interesting for us. Mr. Vikas, I'm sure yours would be a complete diverse kind of training where you've set up ITI centers and skill centers and the likes. Would love to hear what was your experience during that phase and how what the takeaway was.
So first of all, I'll take the point what Dr. Bhoon has just said. Like now, the culture in any organization is transforming from sporadic kind of learning. Like earlier, we used to provide a, let's say, managerial skill
Mhm,
or maybe IT. Now the culture is being transformed. Now the emphasis is given on continuous learning processes.
mhm,
It is a learning process or training process in any organization is a continuous process. If you give a complete 2 days capsule, any person is not going to adopt to that kind of scenario. But if you are giving anything, any kind of training module or any kind of skill set which you are giving in a slow manner and a very innovative way, like uh, if you can have a video kind of thing which people used to grasp faster. So this is really a very, very good thing what Dr. Bhoon has just said, and it is being adopted by most of the corporates nowadays. My journey for skilling started with a different kind of scenario when we started our CSR journey in Chambal. So what we saw there, in fact, most of the rural youth were not willing to go outside their villages. Uh, that was a big thing, big hurdle was there. They, second thing, there was a kind of taboo amongst them that they wanted to do white collar job, the kind of job we used to do, बाबू वाला जैसे रहते हैं, शर्ट पैंट टाई पहन के जाना. So they were more focused towards कि अच्छा सर मुझे जो है इस तरह का जॉब करना है. So looking at their different kind of aspiration, we did a very comprehensive survey of that entire area where we were going to operate. So we found that some people were very much interested in doing engineering kind of job or artisan kind of job. So we thought that there were a lot of ITIs around us. So we discussed with the government, and government gave those ITIs to us. So we started having our management over there. The staff was government. The staff
Okay.
was and the facility was of government, but management part was with us. So we started different kind of courses. They were running traditional courses like welder or machinist. We started IT course, computer operator course. So which were more industry was looking for such kind of, we started because at that point of time, a lot of mobile companies were also coming to NCR region, and so we saw that there are possibility of automobile sector. So we collaborated with Maruti also, and then we started automobile engineering course in ITIs. So with these courses, refrigeration course we started. So there was a huge demand in that entire area. That was the one thing. Second thing, keeping the aspiration of other set of people who are more interested into doing white collar job, और उनको लगता था कि नहीं शर्ट पैंट अच्छे से पहन के we will not do कोई ठोका पीटी का काम नहीं करेंगे, we will do proper office work जहाँ पे sitting का हो, computer का हो, इस तरह का job हो. So we started a different kind of center that we call it Chambal Fertilizer Skill Institute. So we established that center where we started banking courses, we started hospital management courses. So
Nice.
so based on the complete participatory rural appraisal with the discussion with the community, we did a survey. We shortlisted some courses. We started that after seeing the success in those courses, I mean the interest of the candidates. So this culture started in that particular area. So initially we started with the Hadoti region of Rajasthan. Hadoti is comprising of four districts: Kota, Bara, Budi, and Jhalawad. So our focus area is that. So once it started, the entire area was started, having a kind of culture that we should join the institutes which is governed by Chambal Fertilizer. So what
Nice.
happened earlier in those institute, hardly 100 seats were there. We took permission from government of India, government of Rajasthan, and we started uh, more courses over there. So what happened? Almost 4 or 5 times seats were increased in those institute. So it was a kind of a tough journey. It took almost 10 years. Whatever I'm talking is it took 10 years. We also train the teachers also. We send them to corporates kind of training institutes over there in Bhopal or Mumbai. We then what we did, another innovative thing which we started is like we start sending our engineers to those ITIs. So they also started giving hands-on experience. Then there are a lot of things for available on the YouTube. Like when you go to any kind of ITIs or skill center, they are not having all kind of equipments. Even though if they are having all kind of equipments, it's very difficult to train them. But there are a lot of modules are available on the YouTube or the internet. We started showing those pictures to them, and we started facilitating them to create such kind of thing. Like one very important thing which we started, there is a huge demand of drones now.
Mm-hmm.
It's growing. So we
Right.
started that course in those ITIs, and
Fabulous.
we started promoting to make the drones, to repair the drones. Similarly, we started the EVs also. These students started working on the EVs model. In fact, they made a EV vehicle themselves at a very very reasonable cost. They made it in 75,000 rupees only. So it was
Got it.
shown. It was showcased at Jaipur also in skill festival. They every year they conduct. So those kind of culture, those kind of new things we started in those shoots. Students also, like Dr. Bhoon has just said, in his companies, wherever the students or the graduate engineers, they started having interest in that thing. So similar thing has happened in with us also.
Got it.
One more incidence I would like to quote here, like we started COPA, that is called Computer Operator Programming Assistant. That is a more of computer based operation, and it's a 1 year course in ITIs. Earlier, students were just thinking that if we will learn that COPA, we will do COPA, we will work as a data entry operator. What we
Mm-hmm.
transform in that? We started mobile repairing kind of thing, or software repairing kind of thing into that. More girls started joining the COPA courses, and what happened? There were 2 3 plans came in Jaipur, and those girls are taken by the Vivo company. Oppo came. A lot of companies came, and they gave the good salary, because normally the hands of women are sort of soft. For them, it's very easy to assemble these things. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, their employability increased. They started getting jobs. Earlier, they were only employed in local areas, and they were getting 5,000, 4,000 rupees in a month. They were able to generate. Once they started getting 25,000 rupees salary, more and more, youth were having interest in joining ITIs.
Mm-hmm.
So then we started counseling session also. There we started. Then we took a polytechnic college in Bara.
Mm-hmm.
The bright student, we started focusing the bright student we were taking to the polytechnic. The average student, we were uh, you know advocating them to join ITIs, because they
Got it.
would not be able to do polytechnic, because that is more of a more engineering kind of work there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So gradually we started with ITI, then we took polytechnic, then we established our own center. So
Very
till
impressive.
now, we have facilitated over 10,000 rural youth of that area. We are not having that much of capacity to train them, but our model is being appreciated by the entire Rajasthan.
Yeah,
Uh,
10,000 is a very impactful journey, sir, in its own ways.
just I would like to mention one thing. Our model was adopted by the government of Rajasthan, and now, and we have got a lot of awards for that also. So now most of corporates are being advised to adopt our model of ITIs, and I'm very happy to share that Rajasthan government has done a fabulous work, and this culture has started growing in Rajasthan. So ITIs are doing tremendously well in, especially in Rajasthan. What I have seen, I mean,
Fabulous. No, no, very impressive, sir. Extremely impactful is what I would say. And I'm
see,
privileged to be
see,
amongst two
uh,
dignitaries like you. So thank you so much.
working with rural youth is a very very tough thing,
It is
because
it.
changing their mindset is a very difficult.
Got it.
Whatever, uh, if they are having any kind of thing कि welder का course तो बेकार होता है, so it's very difficult to change their mindset.
Got it.
अब
Very interesting.
so so होता क्या था कि like Rajasthan is a very very hot place,
Mm,
and students are coming, they are more interested in joining COPA,
got it.
but we push them कि नहीं बेटा तुम एक काम करो, you join this course refrigeration का, and as you wanted to work in local area, so you will have a employability in local area. There are
Understood.
students जो बाहर जाने को तैयार थे, लेट्स से कि अहमदाबाद जाने को तैयार थे, तो उनको हम लोगों ने पुश किया कि नहीं, यू कैन ज्वाइन दिस कोर्स, मशीनिस्ट का
Got it.
ऑटोमोबाइल का कोर्स ज्वाइन कर लो तुम. So
Got
that
it.
kind of counseling session we did.
Training and counseling helps out of there. Good. I'm going to pick up something that you just said on changing mindset. Dr. Boone, I'll shoot the first question towards you, sir. Um, So there's a report from Deloitte which states that there's a much higher level of productivity, 20% and upward, when people or employees are actually trained or upskilled on a regular basis, right? But unfortunately, still 75% of Indian employees pick up upskilling or training only when the employer actually is pushing them. So I see a disconnect between employees and what really is good from a business perspective. So your sense around how can a company design a skilling ecosystem that not only drives measurable business outcomes in the form of increased efficiency or capabilities, but also builds a self-directed learning culture amongst the younger generation.
Right. I think the first part is related to culture.
Mhm.
You see, if you ask anyone in RDC, I joined in 2016.
Mhm.
If you ask anyone who was there in 2016, there are few, well, there are still about 250. Today we have 2,500, including TeamLease, we have something like 2,500 people. You ask them, what was the culture in 16 and what is the culture now?
Mhm.
They will tell you, sir, it is totally different. The company
Right.
is totally changed.
Got it.
One thing is that 80% of my people now are actually ex-campuses, the on-roll employees.
Okay.
They come directly from the fresh, absolutely fresh. When
Fabulous.
we pick them up, I go personally. So my first thought or first test on them is, are you aligned with my? I think Vikas brought up a very good point. It is not easy to change people thinking and all. It's very difficult.
Mhm.
So rather than changing everybody's thinking, we try and figure out who is already thinking like us. And
Mhm.
fortunately, people are available in the
Got it.
market that who think like us. One of the, of course, the reason, especially because we hire diplomas and graduate engineer from tier 2 to 3 colleges, not from the upper lot. They are very different. We don't need them, nor they need us. So
Mhm.
there, once they come in, there are two concepts which you have put into place for quite some time now, which are almost now embedded. I use two Hindi words. Of course, we have a lot of South Indians, so I also translate them. We call them ishq and rishte.
Mhm. Got it.
Rishte is relationships. You have to build relationship with everybody. You have to have relationship. वहाँ हम उसको वर्क प्लेस रिश्ता बोलते हैं. मतलब you
Mhm.
don't have, it is not like your private cousin, this thing. It is a workplace relationship, but you have to have a rishta. You have
Right.
to have a rishta with a vendor. You have to have a rishta with a customer. You have to have a rishta with your boss.
Mhm.
Sometimes बोलते हैं हाँ हमारा तो, और हम बोलते हैं these रिश्ता, these relationship do not have a definition. इन
Mhm.
रिश्तों का कोई नाम नहीं होता. तो
सही
हमने
है.
ये कल्चर में डाल दिया है. अब सबको पता है कि रिश्तेदार बनाने हैं. We have to make रिश्ता. The
Got it.
second one we call is the ishq.
Mhm.
Original word was Junoon, but I think Junoon is very can become very negative. So we don't want Junoon. We want Ishq.
Mhm.
Now it is in English, it is translated as own the business emotionally. भाई
Got it.
आपको सैलरी तो I am paying you the company is paying you the salary ना.
Uh-huh.
So wherever you are working in RDC or you are working in Chambal Fertilizer or you are working in Hindustan Lever, you have
Mhm.
to own it. Because
सही
if
है.
you do not own, the problem is with you only. Companies will go on. These are organizations. So 20 people will own, 5 will not own. So the people who do not own, they'll be at a loss. So if you own the business emotionally and you have this rishte or relationship,
Mhm.
then learning will become your automatic objective rather than me forcing you to come and learn. So this is
Got it.
one part. Secondly, the learning has to be part of your culture.
Mhm.
For example, in my case, when we take people from campuses for 1 year, although they are doing the job, no doubt they are doing. In fact, people are now ready in 2 months' time, not even Shokal and 4 months. I have reduced to 2 months, and
Right.
my job complexity is much less. So people here are ready in about 2.5 months' time.
Mhm. Mhm.
But they are not out of the training ambit. In the sense, every month they have to submit a report. They will say, "What is my learning? What I did? I contribute." Well, there are challenging words in that.
Mhm.
And every month I hold you can call it a very big meeting. We have approximately mind you, a company of my size, 200 trainees at any one time because the whole company runs on trainees. So yesterday there was, we call it doubt clearing. इसका नाम बड़ा दे रखा है, doubt clearing session. So
Uh,
all 150, 170, 200 didn't come because they'll be busy here and there. They are all there. And all my subject matter experts are sitting. The behavioral people are also sitting. HR is also sitting. They raise questions, we answer them. One of the most interesting question yesterday was asked was, sir, why are you making English compulsory for on roll? That if you a team lead person has to come on roll, he has to know how to converse in English. So I asked one of the Tamil girl who was there in the same group.
Uh-huh.
I said, Jivita, you answer this.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, I don't understand Hindi. I'm sorry, you will have to speak in English to me.
Okay.
So if you want to be part of this journey, that is RDC, you have to know English. I'm sorry. This is, and all my documents, all my processes, everything is unfortunately in English. Even Googling and everything is today in English only. So you have to learn English. So what is happening is that the learning is getting into the culture. Of course, as I think Vikas mentioned this, nowadays the attention span is very low. So if you make very long program, it will become very boring. We have also made very short videos. For example, you want to check Islam, there will be a short video only 2 months. We have a e-learning model. We have a e-learning platform. We call it Diksha. It's actually LMS on which you go there. You will find short videos. After that, answer some question. Another short video, answer some question. So if you want to, it's not only that learning. He has to learn on his own. Learning should be interesting. If it's going to be boring, for example, if you got a simulation game, it's called a business simulation game. Business simulation में जब लोग when they participate, they come to know who made more money. You know, we have this business game in the बच्चों के खेलते हैं. We have converted into my business a similar game. It is a software game. You keep on placing order, reduce the rate, increase the rate, raw material, trucks coming, logistic cost. You do something, and
Fabulous.
you play 4 quarter game. This runs for 4 quarter. Every quarter results are replaced on the screen.
Very
He
nice.
made so much money. It is all money.
Uh,
So firstly, they come to know money making is very important because unless the companies make money, nobody can pay salary. You will not grow. Everything is so. We tell them how to make money, and we tell them how to make money. What are the factors playing it? So if you make training interesting by shortening, introducing gaming into it, people will come on their own. They'll start learning. So my subscription to my Diksha portal is very high. People come on their own, and we have told them you can enroll in any course, no restriction.
got it.
And some of them have done large numbers. We also honor them. So the portal itself gives no gaming. So and so spent so much time or something like that.
Got it.
So culture embed interest in training. The training should be interesting. And of course, at the end of the training, where is he going? There, of course, you have to showcase. So we have at the end of the year, we have a Disha workshop where I honor people who done extremely well by learning. They have grown, they have become this. So we
Mhm.
showcase people. This is the result of learning and development. Now this guy has become like this. Where
Got it.
CEO and me, both of us go there all across the country. We hold this. With Disha is one of our key program where we showcase the results of learning, development, effort, dedication, commitment, ishq, and ristic, everything combined. So this
Fabulous.
is how we embed the learning into the self, rather than, as you rightly said, organization can force, but learning will occur only. आप घोड़े को उसमें ले जा सकते हो ना, पानी तो खुद पिएगा.
सही बात है सर.
So there is a incidentally, trainers enter the door, you enter yourself. There's a board in my room here. Actually, you
Fabulous.
can't
Very
see
true,
it.
sir.
It's somewhere here. I don't know whether you can. I can see it. Here is a board. There's a board.
Good enough.
It says, trainers open the door. You enter
You enter
yourself.
it yourself. I'm going to use that, sir, going forward for sure. So,
Exactly.
very interesting. Everyone talks of, hey, you need to gamify the learning and the likes, but I think those are just talks. But here I see you actually deploying it, and you've created the right ecosystem for someone to excel by themselves. I think which is phenomenal. I remember a statement once made by one of the HR leaders, sir. He said that you don't chase people, you actually create ecosystems for them to strive, which is exactly what you're highlighting. Very, very interesting. So good, Mr. Vikas, if I could ask you the next question, since you work closely with the government and aligned with them, my question is that government programs, primarily on skilling and apprenticeship programs, has definitely boosted the employability in especially the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, right? But organizations are still to reap benefit or collaborate closely and see the benefits from this kind of an ecosystem. So, your thoughts on how skilling the tier 2, tier 3 and organizations benefiting out of it would be something interesting to learn.
Government has recently launched one scheme, Pradhan Mantri Internship Scheme.
Right.
It's a it's a fantastic scheme. It's a fantastic program which government has initiated.
Mm-hmm.
What is this program? I mean, what actually you look at the program where top 500 companies of the uh, top 500 NSE or BSE listed company has to train a certain number of uh, interns in their organization.
Mm-hmm.
The module they have to design, that they have to create their own module,
Mm-hmm.
whatever module, what kind of tailor-made module they are looking for. So this is giving opportunity to companies also, and this is mainly happening into tier 2, tier 3 cities only. So
Mm-hmm.
we are also running similar kind of course, and I have given this responsibility to train. So we have established one center in Agra and another center we have established in Hisar.
Got
So
it.
so so this scheme is a absolutely fantastic scheme where you can train a person as per your thought. If you
Got
are
it.
willing to adopt those people into your system or in your company, so definitely, let's say we are having our agriculture facilitators, because mainly we are having our products is agri based. So now we are giving a kind of training so that they can be easily employed in companies like us, in fertilizer company or pesticide company. So certain kind of skill sets are required about the product lining, how the logistic is done, what kind of precaution they have to take, what kind of application they have to do. So we have
Mm-hmm.
created a module, and based on those modules, they are being trained. So
Mm-hmm.
such kind of culture has to grow in our country. So
Mm-hmm.
it will give a kind of opportunity. If the person is now this person is was unemployed and got opportunity to enroll in a certain company, let's say automobile company, and there he is trained, and then eventually the person is going to employed in sort of automobile sector.
Mm-hmm.
So then the skill set he will be having a interest to upgrade the skills also. Now the culture or ecosystem is also being changed. Just like Dr. Bhoon has also said that more of a virtual kind of training is platforms are given more emphasis. We are
Mm-hmm.
also having a similar kind of culture, like we have given, let's say our graduate engineers are there, and we give them a capsule kind of thing, like you have to get trained into this kind of activity. Let's say some special machine is there, and the person has to get trained. So 8 month time is given, and the person is then competency level can be measured after 8 months, and the
Mm-hmm.
training he can take as per his own timing and wishes. Whenever he's getting opportunity time, he can go
Got it.
for it. So so the scenario is changing, fast changing. And I mean, this Pradhan Mantri internship scheme is one of the scheme. I mean, this is going to be game changer and slowly picking, which is having a. So as per my thinking process, whatever I have learned in my life, like you cannot create a overlapping system. You have to
Mm-hmm.
work with the government. So you have to make this government system stronger by collaborating with them, and then your effort will be amplified also. I
Got
mean,
it. Got it.
you look at the initiative which we have done with the government for ITI. We have not created our own infrastructure, machine, and
Yeah.
anything.
You're
We
right.
have not created any kind of infrastructure. So
Mm-hmm.
those infrastructure being used, which is of government, crores of rupees infrastructure, what we have provided, we are good into management. Like
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Bhoon is coming from army, so the army is known for their management skills. So we are having corporates are known for management skills.
Got it.
So like your organization, shortly, just out of context, I'm telling you, but we for this Pradhan Mantri internship scheme, we are already in discussion with your organization, TeamLease. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm already in discussion so that they can effectively run. So what
Got it.
what they what they will have a good thing. Any organization like yours.
Got it.
So what if they are being trained, then you will have a data bank of those candidates with you. And if any third party is asking for the
Backfill.
requirement of manpower with this skill set,
The backfilling can be done.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
you would be a catalyst in that. So we are already in
Absolutely.
discussion with the team leads. So such kind of ideas you have to come up with. so that employability of these candidates can be, ensured.
Got it.
See, lot of engineering colleges are being shut only because the candidates from there, they were not getting employment. If
Mhm.
you are able to provide employment, 100% employment, 80% employment, then institute will have a name and candidate will definitely come over there.
Very aptly put, sir. Um, India now is the fourth largest GDP, and the statement that really hurts me or touches me the most is India is a massive economy, but with very low individual prosperity, right? So if you take away the top 1% or 5%, the numbers are mind blowing. So I think initiatives like this, where we actually empower, train the 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 people who really need it, I think is going to see India scale to the next level. So good, Dr. Boone. If I could shoot the next question to you, there's been a survey done by Mercer last year sometime where they saw that about 58% of Indian employees actually value a lot of personalized benefits. Could be from a healthcare or could be from a financial wellness, mental health, and so on and so forth, right? So just want to take your 2 cents on how does it work at RDC and what do we do from a perspective of providing these benefits?
Yeah, okay. See, firstly, let me be very blunt on this. Today's generation looks at the total money first. First is the what is my take home, what is my annual, my monthly, how much money I'm
Right,
getting.
sir. Right.
They do not consider these additional benefit like Mediclaim, which we have, health coverage, and then other incentives. We have a lot of incentives in the company. We do have a lot of incentives in the company. But I think the primary motivation today, unfortunately, appears to be that there should be adequate money. If you are not going to pay me, anyone who pays me more, I'll go there. That's
Got
one.
it. Got
But
it.
having said that, it does not mean that these more other factors do not work. For
Mhm.
example, for my blue collar workers, we have a graduation scale that they can rise up to the next level. So, firstly, we have a grade system
Okay.
for each of our functions. We have grade A, grade B, grade C, grade. Well, it's the other way around. He starts with C, then B and A. So we give them additional money in terms of grade pay. When you upgrade to that by learning, by showing, there are tests. Mind you, it is all not just like a number of years. You have to go through certain skill tests. If you pass the skill test, you are upgraded. That is one part. The secondly, we also have, because there are aspirational people who want to rise in to higher levels. So probably we are one of the few company who conduct English classes. We had a Rene, we just finished a batch of 30, out of which
Mhm.
about I think 15 or 17 have qualified.
Mhm.
So they are so that their English reading, writing, and speaking skills improve. So the motivation for that is that I'll come on roll. I mean, there's an off roll to on roll issue going on right now. The
Right.
third one, we have a Pragati program in which you go through, it's more of an assessment system that you go through this step, then you will be upgraded to either on roll or higher levels. So there is a,
Got it.
so if you institute such motivations of learning, that if you
Mhm.
learn this, you do this, you achieve this, then automatically the people, their skill level, their productivity level, that goes up.
Got
Having
it.
said that, we also have a, to be very frank, we also have a punishment. For example, in my company, everybody is supposed to do, we have what we call batching. It's a production platform. When you
Mhm.
are young, whatever you are, you have to do some production. So, like for example, 500 MQ is the one which everybody has to do. If you don't do 500 MQ, whatever is the shortage, 10 rupees per cubic meter will be deducted. So, we also
Wow.
have punishment for
Got
not
it.
doing some contributing, not doing productivity. So
Uh-huh.
these are the apart from the other method which I said, these are the method which you, apart from salary, other intervention we put into place so that a person learns, grows, and earns more.
Got it. Very interesting. So I like your frankness about how the younger generation looks at things now. There is a survey which actually states that attrition levels come down by about 30% with such benefits, but really respect your frankness around this. But what I liked is you also detailed out how you've set out a career path for a few of them to ensure lower levels of attrition. So, Mr. Vikas, if I could take that line of thought and ask you the next question. At Chambal, or especially around the training for villagers and the likes, there would be a certain inclination to jump jobs and move around relatively quick because of lack of possibly clear career growth out over there. So, what is your take around that? The role of clearly defining and helping the younger generation on their career path. Your 2 cents around that, sir.
This is a very, again, very interesting question. First, we have to see the potential of the candidate. Then second is the interest area. The person is, if the you are putting a person in for a certain course which where he is not interested, definitely he will leave the job. The third, regular counseling. Even the students, even the candidates, youth who has got the job, we are into touch with them. We keep on educating them, counsel them. We keep on pushing them to join further courses in that particular area. So these three things are there. And definitely, we also promote candidates to change the job if at all required. Because if you are at a certain position, especially if you are into the blue collar job, you are doing some artisan work. If you are not changing, then you will be stagnant over there, and the salary and their growth would not be there. So we provide two kind of thing. Like if the candidate is good, he want to pursue career further, so we provide kind of platform or educate them to get enrolled into virtual classes or open distance learning classes. We pursue them, and so that the career path can be further enhanced. Another area we uh, guide them to join, keep changing job, not frequently. If the person is feeling stagnant over there, then he should change the job and move to some other company, and salary will definitely grow in private sector. I'm talking from what we have done. I'm talking what we have done. I may, our thought process may not be absolutely correct,
No, no,
but
no, no.
we keep on doing because our niche was very different. We were into Rajasthan, that also in a very interior part of Rajasthan, and then working with the villagers. So the requirements are very different.
Got it. No, no, no. What you've highlighted is
I,
very
I'll,
apt,
I'll
sir.
quote one very interesting thing. There are aspiration amongst the rural youth कि मेरा बच्चा जब स्कूल जाए तो टाई जरूर पहनना चाहिए. And none of the government schools are having tie kind of system, tie and belt
Okay.
kind of system. None of the government school, but there is a system. आपका बच्चा जा रहा है DPS में है यहाँ पे और किसी और स्कूल में है. They are wearing proper tie and बढ़िया से uniform पहन के जाता है. The person is not able to afford anything, but the aspiration of the villager or person is कि मेरा बच्चा tie. और so we have adopted more than 100 schools over there.
Wow.
हमने 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 ये नहीं कहा कि स्कूलों में टाई बेल्ट पहनने से पढ़ाई अच्छी हो जाएगी. फर्स्ट वी management part of those schools were upgraded. Our people started working over there. Then उनकी एस्पिरेशन का भी हमने ध्यान में रखा. हमने उनके उनके थॉट को नहीं बोला कि ठीक है आप टाई पहनाना चाहते हो, टाई पहना देते हैं. Then what has happened in last 10 years? वहाँ के जो स्कूल्स थे, वहाँ के बच्चे पास नहीं होते थे, थर्ड डिवीजन पास नहीं होते थे. Now they are into merit list. This year, one girl
Wow.
was scored around 99.98%. वो थर्ड नंबर पे थी मेरिट में. सो अभी उनको ये समझ में कि द टाई बेल्ट इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट. द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज एजुकेशन, द क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन. बट अगर
Correct.
आप उस टाइम में मैंने उनके एस्पिरेशन का मैंने ध्यान नहीं रखा होता, अभी उनको कोई मतलब नहीं है टाई बेल्ट पहने है नहीं है, कुछ कुछ भी नहीं. बट अभी उनका एस्पिरेशन का अगर हमने ध्यान नहीं रखा होता, तो वो हमारे साथ जुड़ते नहीं है. व्हाट
Got
डॉक्टर
it.
बून हैज जस्ट सेड कि जो लोग हमसे अलाइन होना चाहते थे, जस्ट उसमें मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ, आई जस्ट वांट टू ऐड वन मोर थिंग कि उनको जो लोग हमसे अलाइन नहीं भी हो पा रहे थे, उनके एस्पिरेशन के साथ में हमने मैच करने की कोशिश की. और उनको हमने किया सिमिलर थिंग. बहुत सारे बच्चे चाहते थे कि नहीं हम तो व्हाइट कॉलर काम करेंगे, टाई पहन के नौकरी करेंगे.
Got
तो
it.
तो उनको हमने कहा अच्छा ठीक है, तुम्हारा इंटरेस्ट टाई पहनने में ज्यादा है तो ठीक है, यू कम टू द बैंकिंग सेक्टर. आप इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी बेचने वाले और इस तरह के काम में आइए, आप सेल्स पर्सन बनिए. और उन कंपनीज में जाइए, बंधन बैंक और आपके बहुत सारे आजकल छोटे छोटे बैंक्स खुल जा रहे हैं जो रूरल एरियाज में उनकी है. एयू बैंक है. हम लोगों ने इन लोगों के साथ कोलैबोरेट किया. दे हमारा चंबल फर्टिलाइजर स्किल इंस्टीट्यूट का हमारा जो है 100% वहां पे प्लेसमेंट है. So
Got it.
that is a thing we have created. We have kept the aspiration of the people together. Whatever they were liking it, we provided that. Along with, we also provided our management what actually required for them to grow. वो हमारा थॉट प्रोसेस साथ साथ में चल रहा था, लेकिन
Got it.
जो उनको चाहिए था हमने इनिशियल स्टेज पे दिया. अभी कोई हमसे नहीं पूछता, हमारे पास बच्चे आते हैं, we
Mhm.
do proper psychometric test of any, and then we go towards their educational background. क्या उसने किया है, if the person is good, एवरेज है या अच्छा है या बहुत ही अच्छा है. बहुत सारे अच्छे, बहुत अच्छे बच्चे आ जाते हैं हमारे पास में. हम उनको गाइड करते हैं कि नो, प्लीज डोंट कम फॉर दिस, यू बेटर यू गो फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ कोर्स. सो हम उनको
Got
पूरा
it.
प्रॉपर सजेशन देते हैं, पूरा एक सिस्टमैटिक हमने अप्रोच बनाया हुआ है. एंड देन वी फिल्टर आउट करते हैं कि हु इज सुटेबल फॉर विच एरिया.
Got
तो
it.
उस
Very
बेसिस पे
helpful.
वो बच्चे अच्छे ग्रो करते हैं और फिर वो उन जॉब में लगे रहते हैं. फिर देन एट्रिशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखें सो दे आर नॉट कमिंग आउट ऑफ द जॉब कि उसको छोड़ के फिर वापस घर आ गए.
True,
ऐसा नहीं
true.
होता है.
So very interesting. So what you're actually highlighting is creating the right attitude amongst these kids at a very young age, which actually helps them. I mean, competency for me is a threefold. I'll frame it as ask, which is your attitude, your skill, and your knowledge, right? So I like the way you actually pen down what you've been doing with the kids and the whole part. Um, Dr. Boone and Mr. Vikas, if in case I could shoot this question to both of you one after another, 70% of the CHROs right now have two key things on their priority list. One is your talent retention, and two is increasing your workforce productivity. And as we see how HR earlier was undermined, and now how HRBP is come in and closely working with businesses and their needs, I'd love to hear from your end a few words on what would be the best approach to handle the younger generation, your Gen Z, your Gen Alpha, and the likes, on primarily could be your retention, could be your skill development, and other key points that you believe would help. Just a few words around that would be very insightful.
Okay. I have again a very blunt or very straightforward answer.
Sure, sir.
Unless the organization make money, there
Mhm.
is no solution to any HR problem. Long-term solutions are not there. The
Got it.
first thing all employees must know. In fact, even my union leader in Bangalore, the very very senior guy, I
Mhm.
asked him, if I don't make money, right, will you be happy? No, 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 we'll be very happy. He knows the increments will not come. So the
Correct.
first thing is that some or the other HR has to align with business so that you
Agree.
make money.
Perfect.
Once you make money, half of your motivation goes up.
Mm.
Once you make money, you can invest into expansion. For example, take my case. I was only 14, 16 plants into 2000, this thing. Every plant needs a plant manager.
Right.
Now I am 140. So it means so when I joined at that time, I had three business managers, I had 16 plant managers, and I had three business heads. Today I have eight business heads all over the country, and we have 27 business managers and
Mhm.
140 plant managers.
Mhm.
And these are all
Very
positions where people have grown and large number have grown from within. So the one way to keep people motivated is कि ये कंपनी बहुत अच्छा कर रही है, आगे जाएगी, दूर तक long term है. Every time I meet the young force, I tell them, you are in a sunrise industry. Ready mix concrete will never die because houses will have to be built.
absolutely
And the moment the economy, so we start like this. India is growing at 6.5, whatever GDP.
correct.
Infrastructure is going at 13%. Ready
Correct.
mix, because there is a conversion taking place from manual to automated system, it is growing at 20%. So
Uh-huh.
your whole life long career is already built. It is there. There won't be any risk. I also give a very interesting example in my talk that I ordered some, I will tell you, undergarment because I didn't have it somewhere. So I ordered it on LinkedIn. They said it come in 8 minutes. I said that app which makes this 8 minutes, that app can be replicated, but you need a
Uh-huh.
store that cannot be replicated. You have to build a store, physical store.
True that, sir.
You need a road to my house, that road has to be maintained. You need a two-wheeler, that two-wheeler
Mhm.
has to be built. You need a man to drive, that guy has to be there. So if you look at it, I am almost everywhere because
Got it.
you build a store, concrete has to go there, road, concrete has to there.
Nice.
While the app can be, so what it means is while AI and all these models will come and probably take away some jobs which are probably more soft skills and these IT related, the hardcore skills of making a product and delivering to the customer will never go, because that need will always, the car will always be needed, or unless drones will come, something like that. So if you show your people that there is a growth, there is a future here, it's a growing company, that makes the larger, bigger model, that makes the bigger picture. Then after that, how to sort of keep them, engage them, retain them is, as I said, training, regular engagement, challenging projects, and showing them, yeah, there it is. No, you tell them the clear path you're going, and people will stay back. So
Got it.
my attrition is under control. It's about 14%, 14.5%, and
Wow.
despite young people coming.
This would be one of the low ones for your industries, or what I also
Yes, yes, it is.
understand,
No, I'm,
right?
I'm one of the lowest. I'm being poached by people from this. That is actually my attrition, because we train people very well, so that we are a poaching target.
Got it. Very
So there
nice,
is
sir.
another challenge, I think, probably another. This is
Fabulous.
what we are facing. So if you are growing, and if you are making money, and you are also reasonably distributing the money among your people, they
Mhm.
feel, yeah, something is coming. So we have these kind of things linked to our profitability. So
Mhm.
then I think people will be motivated. They'll stay with you. They will also learn.
I love the insight that you shared, sir. So it's to ensure that career growth happens very evidently with business growth. So ensure that the whole organization does well, and attrition comes down in its own little ways. Very nice. Vikas, I'd love to hear your thoughts around this.
I fully agree with what Dr. Bhoon has just said. But my area of expertise is different. So uh, uh, especially rural areas, the similar kind of things also happen. If the money is coming, everybody is happy over there also. So the similar kind of things started happening. I have seen the condition. Now there is a company, JCB is having a plant in Jaipur.
Mhm, mhm,
So what happened? हमारे आईटीआईज में लड़कियां नहीं पढ़ने के लिए आती थी, तो
mhm,
वहां पे उनको लगता था कि आईटीआईज इज नॉट गुड फॉर देम, why girls don't do such kind of activity. We
mhm.
saw few girls who are having interest in engineering kind of thing, उनका थोड़ा सा उसमें ये था. So we promoted them and they got into a machinist course and they finally got job in JCB. Those girls were, I mean, brilliant, I would say. जो वो तीनों लड़कियां आई, so we portray them as a brand ambassador in our
Mhm,
institute,
mhm.
and we took them to entire the town area. Sangod एक जगह है वहां पे, तहसील है, so we took them so that other girls can also get motivated,
Very
and we
nice.
uh, and they started getting 25,000 rupees initially. Just after joining they started getting 25,000 rupees. उनके फैमिली में 25,000 तो बात छोड़िए, आप 10,000 रुपए की
Got
जॉब
it.
भी किसी ने नहीं की थी. And then when these girls came, they were having so much of confidence. वहां पे एक साल के बाद आई थी, जॉब करने के एक साल के बाद वहां पे, so they came for the experience sharing, what they learned in JCB and how they have felt in that. So they started getting money and then they came and they started, पहले वो नमस्ते किया, उसके बाद से उन्होंने हैंडशेक किया इंस्टीट्यूट में आने के बाद, the kind of confidence they were showing. So this was imbibing, I mean, this was very evident that if money is very very important thing, and gives lot of confidence, and that thing we started, we in fact learned during that process कि एक पैसा जब आता है तो how the transformation happened with the candidate or the person. So we started telling the people also when the students started coming. So again, the money is very very important factor. If the money is flowing into your family, then everything grow up also. We have seen the condition. We have seen the condition like now the aspiration, the girl that particular girl is now married and she's having kids. So मुलाकात हुई हमारी, हमने कहा कि क्या करना, तो उसने बोला my priorities is to educate my kids. That's the
Mhm.
most important priority. The
Very nice.
training never ends. Training is not a classroom. It's life is a training. According to my what I have learned with the villagers, I also got a lot of training while working with them. A lot
Got
of
it.
learning has come to me also while working with them. So I mean, as Dr. Boone has rightly said, like money is very important, whether it is a organization or whether it is a home. If it is flowing, then things are growing.
Fabulous. No,
Hey,
no, very well
Dhiren, I
explained.
left out one very important.
Yes, sir,
Suddenly, I
please.
realized there was one very big factor which I left out on this. Ultimately, the employee experience, or it is the trust in management.
Ah,
Trust in management. Now,
Fabulous.
trust is not a word here. It has to be experienced over a period of time. I
Right.
think our biggest test for trust came during COVID.
It did.
The day COVID, what first thing we did was we, the CFO, me and the CEO, we said how much money we have. And let's say COVID अगर 6 महीने चलेगा पैसे है क्या? तो
Got
CFO ने
it.
बोला सर सारी पेमेंट बंद कर देता हूँ. I'll stop all payment. So
Uh,
एम्प्लॉइज की सैलरी नहीं बंद होगी. So that day
Wow.
itself we did not stop. So touch so of course we organize a lot of medical and all support system. I don't want to go into the detail. We also increased the insurance to 1 crore per
Mm.
employee, all one,
Very
one of the
nice.
unique one in industry. And we
Right.
said nobody will lose. We kept on paying them for 2 3 months whatever COVID was there. No salary was deducted, especially on the front. Some manager cut 25%, हमने kept back, we gave it back to them. I
Mm-hmm.
think the trust which we created when we were really, when everybody was in difficulty, nobody knew the future.
Got it. Got
वो
it.
ट्रस्ट में बार बार हम रिपीट भी करते हैं कि
Mm.
हमने ना कोविड में भी अपने लोगों को छोड़ा नहीं. हमने
सही है.
किसी आदमी को सैक नहीं किया,
Got it.
किसी आदमी की सैलरी बंद नहीं की. एंड वी मेड श्योर ये वाला जो है ना, दिस इज आवर टेस्ट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट ऑफ ट्रस्ट. I
Got it.
think whatever we say, walk the talk, as we say, if the management walks the talk and creates that trust, I think that is also a very big factor in any organization culture. That
Right.
also helps in keeping people with you. The other day, somebody from whatever competition and all, he said,
Mhm.
"Yeah, it is very difficult to snatch people from your company. इतने
Mm.
जुड़े हुए क्यों हैं?" तो मेरे को तब याद आया कि मैंने बोला ये ट्रस्ट की बात है.
सही है
ये
सर.
ट्रस्ट बिल्ड हो जाता है कि यार ये पक्का देख लेंगे मेरे को. तो जो आप
Got
कह
it.
रहे थे ना, एडिशनल क्या है, सैलरी के अलावा एक एडिशनल एक ट्रस्ट है. डू यू
Got it.
ट्रस्ट द मैनेजमेंट? कल को मेरे को होएगी, एनीबॉडी समटाइम्स एक्सीडेंट डू हैपन. माय
Mhm.
फर्स्ट मैसेज टू द बिजनेस हेड हूएवर हैज टोल्ड मी इज, पहले बच्चे की जान बचाओ, जो लगता है खर्च करो, बाकी बाद में करेंगे.
Got it. Got it.
इंश्योरेंस और ये सब देखा जाएगा.
Got it.
फटाफट उस बच्चे की जान बचाओ. एंड वी हैव बीन एबल टू सेव लाइव्स लाइक इवन ड्यूरिंग कोविड आल्सो. पहले जान बचाओ, बाकी सब
Got it.
बाद, मनी विल कम. So I think
Excellent.
trust is one factor which I thought I must mention.
Yeah, yeah,
Trust in
yeah.
the management.
No, no, very nicely put, sir. In fact, I'm all smiles out of here because you summed up the whole discussion for me with what you actually said, right? The idea was to figure out whether upskilling is critical and how it needs to be done. Love the ideas that you actually shared, gamifying the whole thing. I love what Mr. Vikas actually said, how he created centers, got people down over there, educated them the importance of upskilling, training, and the likes. Then we spoke about how benefits could actually help in attrition. Sir, जो आपने बोला is a perfect blend of trust and benefits, right? You told them, hey, don't worry, we are there. जो भी होगा, we will take care of you. So it might not have been a financial benefit to everyone, but it was a benefit in the form of a trust that you gave them,
Yes.
saying that, hey, we will actually take care of you, do not worry. And then the retention follows out over there, where the HRBP works closely with businesses and ensures a higher output in the form of ensuring a happy employee. So that is what I would take away of this whole discussion. And with this, I'd like to thank both of you. Again, it was an honor and a privilege to moderate this session with both of you out of here and look forward to having many more going forward, sir.